Miele, which is basically a shortcut menu, and I'm going to show you what to do with that. You've got your favorites, settings, and maintenance. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to take these operating modes and I'm going to condense them into my Miele. And my Miele is basically a condensed menu of the shortcuts. So we're going to take some of these operating modes. We're going to take out bake, because that's something that you're going to use a lot of. We're going to add that to my Miele. Is there
bake and convection bake, or just bake?
There is convection bake. We're going to add that. We're going to add steam cooking. These are just some things that you're probably going to use the most of. We're going to add let's see.
I tried to broil something the other night to brown it on top, and I couldn't figure out how to work it.
And I'm going to add one more thing here, which is going to be the menu cooking, because I'm going to talk about that one. And I'm going to add in here the reheat. Okay, so now when you come into the main menu, rather than coming into operating modes and scrolling around trying to find all these things, now we're going to just go to my Miele, and we've simplified this menu to the most commonly used programs. Most everything that you're looking for to cook, you're going to throw it in the oven. You're going to go to Master Chef, because this is where all of the food types are going to be found. If you're looking for, say, corn on the cob, you're just going to go to vegetables. You're going to scroll through this menu here. You're going to find corn on the cob. You're going to hit steam, broil, or blanch. So we're going to say steam cook it. You want to tell it how crisp you want the corn. We're going to hit OK, and we're going to start now. And you can see right there, it's going to tell you how long it's going to take. Because we're steam cooking, you can cook on all 3 shelves at a time. It's all encompassing. Doesn't matter what shelf you put it on, it's going to cook evenly.
And steam cooking doesn't take time to preheat.
That's including the preheat time. So you can just throw it in. You don't need to wait for the oven to heat up.
Doesn't matter how much you've got in there. It's not like you've got 10 ears.
In fact, for example, if we go over and do...
if you're going to do baked chicken, are you doing vegetables?
If we do mushrooms, you'll see mushrooms is only 2 minutes, but you have to take into account that it's also counting the preheat time on that, and so it may take 5 minutes to preheat. So all in all, it's about 7 minutes to cook those mushrooms. So it'll ding when it's
ready for you to put it in, and then hit start.
No, because you put the mushrooms in
and then do the buttons,
and then it'll ding after the 2 minutes of cook time.
Okay.
So now in special modes, this is where it gets fun. This is where you've got the menu cooking, which is that video that I showed you where I'm cooking all of the things at once. So in menu cooking, in that example where we did the salmon, the rice, and asparagus, you pre-prep your meal. You put your rice in here. You'll put asparagus on the middle perforated rack. You'll put your salmon on the big rack on top, in the perforated rack. And you put all the seasonings. And those perforated racks slide into those slots? Okay. On the different slots. So they are also labeled. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Some of the programs in here will tell you which rack to place it on. It'll say place the meat on rack 1 or 2 or 3. Just follow the instructions in the Master Chef menu. Okay. For the menu cooking, you just got to play around with it and figure out what's best for that meal. Okay. So for the salmon, rice, and asparagus, just pre-prep the meal over on the counter or whatever. It doesn't matter what order that you put them into the menu cooking, or how you program it. So we just hit rice. We'll say it's wild rice. It tells you how much water to put with the rice, and you just put that in the tray. So it says,
the rice.
1 part rice, 1.5 parts water. We hit OK, and then we go to add food. We go to our fish, and we just go in here and find the salmon, and we're going to say that it's a piece. So it says place the fish in a greased perforated container.
Oh yeah, and remind me to get you to show me how to defrost like frozen meat if I want to defrost rather than like in one of these ovens. Can I do that?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, don't let me forget.
So make sure it's thawed out. Perforated container. You put in the weight. We'll say it's like a pound and 1.3 pounds. We hit OK, and then add food and asparagus. So we just hit asparagus, green asparagus. We'll say it's thick.
Okay.
Get a little crispy. We hit OK. Start menu cooking. So the first thing it asks for is the wild rice.
Okay.
It's not because I told it to cook the rice first.
It's doing
it's
it
just
based
because
on the order.
it's based on how long that takes. So I hit OK, close the door, 28 minutes, start to finish. So after about 10 minutes, it's going to chime and say, add the salmon. And then it's going to chime a couple minutes later and say, add the asparagus. And the drippings are going to come down, hit the asparagus, drip down, and everything's going to land in the rice. And it is perfectly seasoned, perfectly flavored.
Delicious.
Dinner's done, 28 minutes, served, all hot, no reheating, no timing, anything. It's just done. So that's the fun with menu cooking. You can play around and do, you know, other vegetables, broccoli, potatoes.
Does it come with recipes?
And what are the recipe locations that she's thinking about?
There's a lot of Facebook resources. If you just search for steam and bake, you can find a whole bunch of recipes.
Just in general,
there.
not necessarily Miele.
Not necessarily Miele. Just look up steam and bake. People are posting things daily.
Okay.
Like all kinds of stuff for the Combi-Steam ovens. You'll hear a bunch of bad things about Miele. You'll hear bad things about Wolf and people.
I'm already sold, so I don't care what
people fighting, but the Miele's are by far the best and the easiest to use.
Yeah.
So. You've got pizza.
Yeah, we do a lot of pizza.
You've got your defrost here.
So defrost would be for like meat,
Uh-huh.
or defrost for like rolls. Like, you know, those good little frozen rolls you get that you're supposed to put out on your counter for 5 hours before you eat them and then they rise. Is there a way to do that in here?
I personally haven't
Figured it out.
done any defrosting in here yet.
Oh,
But I know it can be done. I would look in the manual or online.
or like a frozen lasagna, which I buy at like an Italian market. You know, like whenever I try to bake it, it's like it seems like it takes forever, and then the middle will still be frozen. So can I defrost like a frozen lasagna?
Yeah, you could.
So
defrost
you just go to
anything in here.
defrost, and it's going to ask you questions, or you just have to know how long
You
it
just
takes.
have to know how long to defrost in
okay.
here. Next cool thing is reheat.
Yeah.
You ever had a nice ribeye that you've barbecued and put it in the fridge and
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
and you end up throwing it away
Or you eat
because
a cold
you
sandwich.
microwave it, turns
Yeah.
to rubber. You put it in the oven, it's just too chewy to.
Yeah.
This will make it taste better than the day you barbecued it.
Without like wrapping it in tinfoil or anything, you just pop
Nope,
it on
you
the
just-
tray thing.
Put it in here on a plate, hit reheat. 265, put it in for about 18 minutes. Kick that humidity up to about 70%. Hit OK. That steak has had time to marinate all of its juices back in.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to reintroduce the humidity back into that steak, and it's going to revitalize. And
Wow.
I guarantee it's going to taste better than when it came off the grill.
Wow, and does it tell you how
Bring
long to
food
reheat
home
it?
from the restaurant, put it in here, put it on this reheat program. Guaranteed it's going to taste better than
Will
at
it
the
tell you
restaurant.
how long to reheat it? Or are you
Trial
just
and
going to
error.
guess? Okay.
Trial and error.
What's your recommendation?
Pastas are going to be about 12 to 15 minutes.
Oh, that's a great thing because I hate using the microwave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, casseroles, pastas, 12 to 15 minutes.
On what
Steak's
temperature?
gonna be about 18.
265-ish? You don't want to go too high on the reheat temp
Just go with the recommended 265 every time.
for whatever I'm reheating.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Any other like chicken or pizza? Should I?
Don't make popcorn in here; it won't work.
We don't.
No popcorn butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
All right.
downstairs.
Something there that used to be in this oven that's not there anymore because of liability reasons. Turn the camera off. No, not really, not really. Treat yourself to a spa day. Roll up some towels. put them in here.
Oh.
Put it in there for about 15 minutes on steam.
Yeah, that would feel good. Okay, I like that.
Do not turn the oven elements on when there's
Yeah,
towels
no.
in there.
Yeah.
Okay? Steam only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it. You're not liable,
Hard-boiled
don't
eggs
worry.
at Christmas.
What kind of eggs?
Or not Christmas, Easter. Eggs. Yeah, there's eggs in here. You go to Master Chef.
Poultry.
Here it is, eggs. Tell it what size the eggs are. Hard-boiled eggs.
You can soft boil eggs in there?
You can soft-boil eggs.
Soft-boiled eggs.
Yeah, you can do all sorts of fun stuff with this oven. So
Might make me like cooking
that's
more.
kind of the rundown of,
Okay.
of what you can do.
Cool. What about how do you thaw, like, if I have frozen chicken and I want to bake it for dinner, how do I thaw it? Defrost? Or thaw, what would it be under?
That would probably be under defrost. But once things are defrosted, to make a chicken, you would just come into poultry, gourmet chicken, and we go into the roast feature. Oh yeah, that's another thing. There's a round disc that came with this. It's a little filter, and that slides into the back to cover that grease, that convection fan.
Oh, I
And
don't.
you want to make sure that this pan is in there so no drippings go in the bottom.
Hmm.
But you'll hit OK. There's a roast probe. It's a little cord.
Yeah, I think that's in there in a drawer.
So you want to insert that into the meat. Make sure it goes to the center of the meat, the tip. And you'll hit OK. It says universal tray on shelf
Shelf
1.
one.
You'll hit OK. It says place the rack, which is this, on shelf 2. Or I'm sorry, it says place it on
Shelf
1.
one.
So you'll place it on top of this.
Does it fit on top of that?
Uh-huh. Yep, this will go
Oh,
right on
Okay.
top of that. So your chicken will sit right on top of that and hit start now. And it's saying use
Okay.
the roast probe, which plugs right in there.
okay. So that's like if you're doing a whole chicken.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And so it will calculate how long it takes and cook that chicken perfectly.
Does it give you the thaw mode?
The probe is what's going to determine the length.
Yeah.
Right, but if you've got like I buy chicken and then if I have it in the fridge for a day or two, I'm like, oh, I can't cook it. I pop it in the freezer so it doesn't go bad. So if I want to make chicken for dinner and it's 5 o'clock, I usually put it in the sink and boiling like in a Ziploc bag and like hot water until it kind of thaws. Is there a way to like make it thaw in here before I cook it? No.
No,
Okay.
not
Okay.
that I know of,
Okay.
other than putting it on defrost. But
Okay. That might kind of cook it a
you
little.
might want to
Yeah. Okay.
look in the manual on the defrost times.
Okay.
That's something I haven't ever experienced because
Okay.
everything I've cooked has been fresh meat.
I know. I feel guilty and like, sometimes you buy it and then you're like, oh gosh, I'm not going to waste $15
Yeah.
worth of chicken, so I'll pop it in the freezer.
Yeah.
Okay.
One other suggestion I was going to have, remember that you have warming drawers.
Okay.
So when you're cooking things and prepping things, you can still keep them warm. That way you can serve everything hot.
Yeah.
Maybe you have 2 warming drawers.
Yeah.
Most people forget they have them and they never use them.
Yeah, I did actually at Christmas. I tried to pop some, I think it was the rolls or something in there. Are there any tricks or techniques to know about these? Like, it's just the different temperatures, but what? So this is if you want to heat plates.
Mugs,
mugs.
coffee mugs, plates.
What does that
food.
mean? Food, and then what's that for?
That one's temperature mode, I believe. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's to manually set the temperature.
Okay. Okay.
One more thing is, favorites. So if you want to create a program, say that you have a recipe that you want to save in here that maybe it's grandma's Sunday roast.
Okay.
You can come in here and create your, I'll go back, create your own program. So say that it's a 5-step program that's the family secret, and she starts by searing the meat, which would maybe be a maxi broil for 5 minutes. I'm just throwing these out here.
Yeah.
I'm just making
Yeah.
it up. then you can add another stage where
Oh.
it slow cooks for, let's see, we'll say that it slow cooks at 220 degrees for 3 hours, and then you can add another stage where, I don't know, for some crazy reason, Grandma steams the damn thing for 4 hours.
Okay.
But you get the idea.
Yeah.
It goes on and on, and once it's done, you wanna finish the program. You can see all these stages, and you can go up to 11 different steps on this program. And once you're done,
Save it.
you can save it after you've run the program. You can save it, and you could call it Crazy Grandma's Steamed Roast.
So you don't have to remember the whole process.
So you don't have
it's
to
in there.
reprogram it again. And you can save that recipe for the next time. Or say that you're experimenting around and you've now created the perfect recipe, or you don't like it and you want to change
Oh,
and you can change this step and say, well, that didn't turn out so good. I need to add another 5 minutes to
got it.
that stage of the recipe, and now you've got the perfect prime rib
Yeah.
now, and everybody at the party said, oh my gosh, how'd you get the crust just perfect,
Yeah.
and the
Neat.
inside was perfectly pink, and now you've got it, and you've got that saved as your secret recipe. So you
Okay.
can save those things, or the salmon, rice, and asparagus recipe. At the end of everything that you do, you'll see a little button that says save,
Okay.
and you can save it and add it to your favorites.
Cool.
So then, not only in your,
If you don't add it to favorites, where does it go? If you save it, do you have to
So if
remember
we
to put
hit-
it in favorites?
if we hit save, you'll see a keyboard comes up, and you can type in what you want to name it, and that ends up in your my favorites.
Okay.
So we're going to delete that
Yeah.
because we would never want to do that.
Okay.
So that ends up in your favorites. Now you can also move that or add it to your My Miele. So then you can just go into My Miele. Oops. You can go into My Miele, and you can just scroll over, and you can go bam.
Cool.
There's Sunday dinner, or
Okay.
My Crazy Roast, or
Okay. Neat.
whatever. So
Thank you.
it's just super simple.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay.
So
How about the trays? Can you make sure I know which ones go for which? Some of the stuff is like drawer organizers. I'm not sure what they do.
So this is the perfect. This is the solid, and there's your big perforated.
Okay. And they slide in this way. Okay.
Yeah, they only go in one way.
But they're just for this top oven. Those things are for this top. Okay. Nothing special for the bottom.
No. And once you've learned this menu,
This probably makes.
Yeah, all the
it's all the
M
same.
very
Gourmet Center. You see the Master Chef.
Uh-huh.
Same stuff.
And what were you saying about the steam burst or bread?
So when you go into Master Chef Plus and go into bread, these programs use that humidity, that water line. But there's no drain in here. There's no steam. It's just humidity.
Okay. It's not like this. It's just
not.
going to be a
It's
tiny
not.
bit. Okay.
Yeah. There's.
If I was just doing frozen bread, would it be worth doing in there on that feature or no? Not bread.
I don't think you can actually control
Okay.
the water.
Okay.
It's just pumping in
Little
to
bit.
control the bread crust.
Okay. Cool.
So.
All right.